So these are tips and tricks that work for me in my game dev journey. Take all of these tips and tricks with a grain of salt. These are also not ordered by most effective to least effective. These work when they work for me. So the first one is talking about your game to friends, families, and other game devs. So my big sis has always been there and willing to listen to most of my projects, whether it be games, comics, illustrations, and stories. So big up to her. I also talk about my games to my best friend. I made her read the first draft, not really first draft, but close to the first cleaned up draft that isn't even in my game anymore, and doing so made me see like what worked and what doesn't really early on. I also did join a Discord and met a very kind person who is also a game dev. So talking about ideas and our games between each other is always dope. And following that same vein, sharing your game in the current state. So whether it's still an idea, 77% complete, or in its concept art phase, share it. Whether it be on itch.io, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you post, you should share it. See what people think, see what people feel when they see your game. And if you don't have access, or like you can't really talk to friends and family and you're too shy to talk to other game devs, maybe sharing it could be the way to do it for you, which is what I'm doing currently for one of my games. My third advice, tip, trick, I don't know how to name these, but it's working on a second or even third projects. The amount of projects, the amount of ideas, drafts I have is insane, but jumping from project to project, going from maybe a comic script to illustrations with a story behind them, and then going right back into just on my solo games that I'm working on my own, kind of keeps things alive. It keeps me motivated to keep working on my, let's say, the project with the most progress, which is my games. It keeps me more motivated to finish them, because once I finish the games, let's say, I can like go on to the comic, and then once the comic is done, I can go on to the illustration, and it's just really a kind of a loop. Just seeing all the progress and projects done keeps me really motivated, because that's just how I work. That's how my brain is wired. So I want to say that's great, but it's also painful. We love being creative here. Next tip, trick, advice is maybe you don't need to fight the urge. Maybe the game just isn't meant to be. So I drop it. The amount of game and sketches and scripts I've dropped throughout my few years of game devs, I'm not even ashamed of it. There are maybe 10, I don't have the full number, but 10 games I wanted to make, didn't finish. I may have spent over 2, 3, 4 months on them and dropped them, because I didn't feel that they just were not doing it for me. They were like a great idea in the beginning, but they proved to be above my skill set. They proved to be more complex than I anticipated making them, story-wise, and just the way it would flow. And maybe sometimes a game wasn't what the story needed to be. So it's sad when it happens, and there's no shame in dropping a game for me. Next is playing games, watching movies, and reading books. That is one of the ways I can so easily go back into this creative mentality. It's so helpful to just do something that isn't game, that isn't me making a game, because I still play games. The creation process sometimes just keeps me laser focused on coding, writing, and making the art, that I forget why I'm doing all of this. And it's because, oh, I enjoy it. I enjoy watching movies. I enjoy playing games. I enjoy reading books. That's why I'm doing all these things, because I enjoy them. But when I'm just fully into it, it's just painful. And just taking a minute, taking a break, taking 1-2 days of just enjoying media, just going outside, watching a movie, or just sitting outside in a park reading a good book. It just brings it all back, and just even if the story doesn't fully inspire me, it still inspires me to make something. So that is one of my favorite ways to combat the urge. And next, if you've been working for a while on your game, maybe not touching your game for a day or two might help. So this kind of works nicely with the last advice. Not touching your game for 1, 2, even a week if you can afford to is so helpful, because you have these new eyes, this new perspective of looking at your game, maybe seeing what works and what doesn't, and even seeing what some media that you liked use, some teams that you want to incorporate into your own game, see it how they did it, and then see if you can mesh it into your own story and make sure it all flows together nicely. Something I still struggle to do, but it's still a nice challenge to see what I enjoy and putting it in my own stuff and seeing if it works, making it work. So that's one way, another tip. And last but not least, I added this in while recording this audio, and I kind of hate it, but this saved me so much time and grief, and it's a scope knife. Yes. I hate it with a passion. I don't want to cut anything from my game, but sometimes cutting stuff out from your games saves the game, because we're trying to combat the urge to drop it, and maybe when the game is too big or there's just too much art to be made, and every sprite has a face variation with expressions that match different dialogue. Maybe you don't need all of these expressions, and maybe the script has become just huge and it's already done, but you don't see how you could work it into the game seamlessly. Maybe there's some scenes that you could cut and just add in later if you find a better place for them, which is what I've done for both these things, art and writing. I had to cut out a few expressions because I keep forgetting I'm working on this game on my own. And in terms of writing, I keep giving myself these big expectations, but as long as a game is made, I don't think people are gonna notice the difference between 10,000 words and 15,000 words if both are written well. So I have to remember this for myself. The scope knife doesn't mean that you're gonna have to throw away these things that you really want in your game, because it's just a knife. You can just put it to the side and then bring them back later. So these are my tips, tricks, advice for combating the urge to drop my game I'm currently still working on. And if you'd like to see more of it, it's in the description. Yeah, it's in the description below. And thank you for checking out this video. And just context for what I've been drawing. It's a character from a side project, a side game. Her name is 𝘁𝗵𝗃. She's a baby. I love her so much. There's so much I have to talk about her and her friends. They're all slightly insane, but they're my insane babies. So looking forward to sharing more about that story pretty soon, hopefully. Yeah, pretty soon. That's it for me. Thank you for listening. Keep making games, and if it's not meant to be a game, it's not meant to be a game, and that's all right. I believe in your games, and we need more games in this world, more than ever. More than ever.